Emostel.
Hello, you're welcome to this video, and we are still treating the same vector. Don't worry, we'll soon be over, okay? Vector story will soon be over. So, but yeah, it's too important to ignore. It's beyond this course. It still goes on to some other courses too. It still extends to other courses like Mass 2H2, which you do in your 200 level. So just take it very serious, hold on to it, and it's sweet. It's sweet to learn. I don't know, from here it is. All right, let's quickly move on. Now, we want to do something a little bit tricky. In this case, we want to find the unit vector. We want to find the unit vector of a particular vector. Like, we want to find the unit vector. So let's go. Let's the question says find we already have vector A as 2i minus 3j plus k. All right. Now remember that the unit vector of a vector, like, okay, every vector is a product of the magnitude of that vector and its unit vector. Every vector is a product of what? This is a vector. Every vector is a multiplication between its magnitude and its unit vector. Remember that unit vector is also a vector, but in its own case, it's a vector whose magnitude is 1. All right? So every vector is a product of its unit vector and its magnitude and its unit vector, just like this is a vector, and a vector. Okay? Because this is the magnitude and then this is the unit vector. All right, so that's because this is the size of the vector and then the other one is the unit vector. All right, so as we have it this way too, if the question now says find the unit vector of a particular vector that is already given in this component form, then it means mathematically, it means that we are asked to find, we are going to use the formula, like reverse it by saying the unit vector is going to be the actual vector divided by its magnitude. So at the end of the day, this one is okay, it's going to be necessary. Yes, it's going to be necessary. So the unit vector is going to be the actual vector divided by its magnitude. So that is what is going to happen here. So this question, as tiny as it is, demands us to do something. It demands us to first find what? The magnitude of that vector. When we find the magnitude of the vector, any answer we get is what we now slot back in. Okay, don't worry, let's just do that first. Okay, so we first find the magnitude of A. All right, the magnitude of A, as we know, is going to be the square root of all these components. Okay, so it's going to be the square root of 2 squared plus minus 3 squared plus 1 squared. All right, and then that's going to be equal to what? Square root of 4 plus 9 plus 1, and that's going to be 4 plus 9, okay, 9 plus 1 is 10, and then 10 plus 4 is 14. So the answer is going to be the square root of 14. I wish we landed at an answer that the square root can be easily found, like, so that this root will be off. Okay, but it's still good. Just leave it there. If you solve a question that's actually lands there in that way that you can easily find the square root, yeah, it's good. If you cannot find the square root, leave it this way. So which means the magnitude of A is the square root of 14. That is the magnitude of A, right? Now, we now bring it back into this formula that says unit vector, which is what the question wants us to find, unit vector of A. So we now return it into this formula by saying unit vector of A will therefore be equal to the vector A itself. What is vector A itself? Vector A itself is 2I minus 3j plus k. So the magnitude of vector A, we got it as what? 14. So we are following this formula here. This formula is what we are following, okay? Which was derived from here by making this one the subject. So we sent this one down to go and divide. So we have magnitude of A is equal to what? 2I minus 3j plus k, all divided by the square root of 14. You get that? And so which means that the unit vector of A is going to be equal to this. Algebra allows us to divide through each 10. So we have 2I divided by root what? Root 14 minus 3j. All right, well, we can still write it this way. Okay, let me write it the traditional way first. 2I divided by root 14 minus 3j divided by root 14, and then plus k divided by root 14. Or you can say the unit vector of A is equal to 2 over the square root of 14, then you write what? I in the middle, minus 3 over the square root of 14, you write j in the center, then plus 1 over the square root of 14, and then you put k here. So this is also another way of writing the answer, and then you are good to go. All right, so you may still want to perform some mathematical stunts here, but I don't think that is possible with 14. Let me see if it is possible. 14, the lowest common multiple is 2. 2 in 14 is 7. 7, no. So it's not possible. Assuming it's possible, you could also break it down. If, for instance, we have something like, maybe instead of 14, we have, maybe you have something like the square root of 8 instead of square root of 14. If peradventure the answer we got earlier was square root of 8, okay, you can still put some stones. 8, 2 can go in 8, right? That's 4. 2 can go 4. 2 can go in 4. That's 2. 2 can go into 1. So which means 8, the square root of 8 is still the same as the square root of what? 2 times 2 times 2, right? Good. So the square root of 2 multiplied by the square root of 2, you can split it, you multiply by the square root of 2. In the law of square roots, when 2 equal squares multiply each other, the square root will disappear, remaining only the number. So which means it's going to be like the square root of 2 multiplied by the square root of 2. The square root of 2 is like, in the law of indices, it's like 2 raised power half multiplied by another 2 raised power half. According to the law of indices, a raised power x multiplied by a raised power y is equal to a raised power x plus y. All right? So which means 2 raised power half multiplied by 2 raised power half is going to be 2 raised power, means this is going to be 2 raised power half plus half. At the end of the day, it's 2 raised power 1, and 2 raised power 1 is 2. So law of indices, that's the law that affects this, because the square root of 2 is the same thing as 2 raised power half. So the square root of 2 again, 2 raised power half. So when the two of them multiply each other, it's just, the result is just that the root will disappear, only 1 2 will stay. So we have 2 root 2, that's the answer. So that 2 root 2 would have been here, 2 root 2, 2 root 2, 2 root 2, then this one will cancel this. So it would have been like 2 over 2 root 2. Okay, then these two cancels this, so we have 1 over root 2. I'm just giving you all the possibilities because you never can tell what the option will bring. Okay, so if this thing is something that can still be further broken down, break it down so that I can use it to divide whatever is outside here, if it's possible for them to divide and keep the remnants. Just make sure that you solve it to the barest minimum before you give it up, because the options you may find in the question could be stuff that have to do with the place you didn't stop at. All right, so that is just a way of finding the unit vector that comes in the component form. So if the question gives you a vector and asks you to find the unit vector, make the unit vector the subject of the formula, throw this one to the other side, and then you'll get your answer. All right. So which means then next find the magnitude of the vector, then do the whole thing. The rest is mathematics and the rest is algebra, and then you get your answer. All right. So that's that as per that, and then that marks the end of this video. So I will see you in the next video for the last question. Take care.